How you doing, YouTube? Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Pumpkin time, baby. Who doesn't like some pumpkin beers? It is sweltering out. It is the beginning of September. Who doesn't want some rum and some pumpkin in the form of Avery Brewing's Rumpkin? Oh, God. I have not had this probably since last year, but it's been that long. I usually drink these with some time on them, with some age on them. This one is relatively fresh. When does this come in at? This was bottled 2 weeks ago. That's hot fire right there. Yeah, let's dive into it. You've heard this before. Avery Brew Company Annual Barrel Series Batch Number 8 Rumpkin Ale Brew with pumpkin and spices, Asian rum barrels, 16.3% this year, 2018. August 16th is when this is bottled, and I'm reviewing it on the 1st of September. And that'd be that. There's story time over there about rums and barrels and pumpkin and all that stuff, but you've heard it before. I've reviewed this beer before. We're going to dive into it. Look at that. Same label over and over again. That's not a bad thing. Kind of scared. The Avery gold foil tops can be a little bit daunting at times, but we are going to do them for science. At least I like to tell myself that. So anyway, what do we have here? Pinky finger, quick dissipating head. Just north of khaki, and you're left with what looks like just straight barley wine, which is essentially what this is. I mean, they're talking about a big, huge rum pumpkin ale, hence the Rumpkin moniker. It is basically a big, huge kind of English-style barley wine, or English ale, super bumped up with a bunch of rum and spices in it. So, let's see if that smells what it smells like. That's a good definition, right? Yeah, I mean, she smells like pumpkin spices. You get a soft kind of rumminess in there. Comes off a little bit kind of, I like to say this about rum. I don't know how everybody feels about rum, but rum comes off a little buttery to me. So you get that little bit of buttery rum with a little bit of kind of Caribbean spices on top of those pumpkin spices. Not that much kind of alcohol heat, to be perfectly honest with you, which tends to be a little bit of Avery magic, especially if they're higher ABV, kind of B series or the gold foil top series. So let's dive in, see what she's got. Cheers. Rumpkin. It's a little bit hot. It's a little bit hot. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's a huge ABV. It's a 17% rum barrel aged pumpkin spice beer. You're like, no shit, Sherlock. That is what it says on the label. Well, that's actually what it is. And you know, take that for what it's worth, but a lot of breweries end up putting out beers and they're nothing like what they have on the label. You're getting a huge booze component here. You're talking about a 17% beer. If you go into this expecting zero booze, you have a problem. Sure, a lot of these with age can end up gracefully aging to a point where it's like deceptively hidden. 2 weeks old. It's not David Blaine in the glass here, okay? You know, it's going to show its cards at first. You need to get a little bit of time, get a little bit of kind of experience under its belt to where it does all the magic stuff and all that stuff. So it's a big, huge beer that shows a bit of heat. And you get that rum component, which adds a little bit more heat to it. You get a really nice, well-balanced spice component in there. I mean, it's giving you pumpkin spices. It's not giving you just spices. You actually get pumpkin vibes off it, even though it is that huge ABV. And there is a kind of pumpkin beer thing to it. It's not just like a pumpkin spice beer. You feel like there's maybe it's the rum coming in there, where I talk about the kind of buttery flabbiness, but you feel like you get a bit of body from it. Listen, most people that tell you when they drink pumpkin beers, you're just going to get pumpkin spice. Listen, you can get more than just pumpkin spice from beer, and by that I mean when people say they use pumpkin, you don't get anything. All you do is you get the spice. You can get a couple things. If you roast the shit out of it, you can actually get like pumpkin-esque kind of flavoring. It's, you know, it's gourdy kindness out of it. Not necessarily getting that here. But if you use enough of it in the right ways, you can get a rich body out of it. It adds like almost like a protein kind of way you see in all these super hazy IPAs. You have these proteins kind of propping up all these hop bits and pieces that everybody loves in these hazy beers. It's kind of the same thing with pumpkin beers. You get that kind of body out of it. And you feel like you get that in here. Sure, you don't look like you're getting in here. It's relatively clear beer, but it doesn't have like a super thinness to it. Now, at 17%, you're not expecting a thinness, but it feels like it has an extra oomph to it body-wise. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better pumpkin beers I've had as of late? It's a weird one, because I mean, I don't think there's a great pumpkin beer. I think there's great beers that happen to be pumpkin beers. I think this is one of them, but this is one of them with an asterisk next to it. And that this one is an ager. More times than not, I'm going to tell you, don't go out of your way to age barrel-aged beers more times than not. Barrel-aged beers with more moving components might not age all that gracefully because there's more to go wrong because there's more moving components. But more times than not, I've had this beer with 3-4 years on it, and it's turned into an absolutely beautiful beer. And that's kind of where this one sits for me. Listen, I've done my fair share of Avery foil tops. I've done my fair share as of late. I just did their kind of raspberry truffle. I've done a couple of them, their peanut, the Nutty Professor, a couple other ones. Summer hits, summer misses out of the gate. You know, that raspberry truffle was beautiful from the get. I would not be surprised if that turned into a great beer, even better beer with time. This is a beer I would say, grab them, buy them, put them on the shelf, let them sit for a bit, give them a year, give them 2 years, buy 4, try them every year or 2 and see how they age, because that's kind of where this one sits for me. It's not something I would go out of my way to get from the get-go to drink at the get-go, but at the same time, it's something I would pick up, let age, and then have at it, because it's, more times than not, a fantastic beer when it's aged. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Oh, I didn't go over the whole value thing. Usually like $15 a bottle. Wherever you see foil tops, and if you like what we like this, if you like high ABV booze, aged beers, and pumpkin beers. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice rum beer right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers. Mika, want a treat? Come here. Come here. Come here. Keep coming. Come on. Come on. Come. Up. There. Ooh, 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 ooh. Go ahead. Yeah. You're such a good girl. Even when I try to make you do bad stuff, you don't do bad stuff. My little babushka baby. Look in the mirror. Look in the camera. Oh, Mika. Okay, you're done. I used you for my... Oh, you parking at?